All right, guys, Jason Final Expense, a pro amongst pros of final expense telesales. You're here today to learn about everything final expense telesales. And let me tell you a little bit about Jason in case you don't know him. He has 20 plus years in the insurance business, mixture of face-to-face and lots of telesales experience. He runs a massive telesales focused agency. Again, go to his YouTube channel and subscribe at Jason Final Expense. Just throw it into the YouTube search. You'll find it. He's trained countless agents to duplicate the kind of results he's had. And for example, as a producer, and this is in recent year or so, his top production as a personal producer was $51,000 in 1 month with 74 individual apps completed in that 1 month telesales. We're going to be talking about all things telesales. And again, the reason why you guys should listen to this is because telesales is different than face-to-face. There's a lot of agencies out there that are just getting into telesales because of pressure. And they don't know what they're quite doing. Jason does know what he's doing. And I'm going to ask him a lot of questions that you're already asking or you should be asking. It's going to give you better perspective about what this business is like and to get a better grasp of what to expect. So Jason, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you having my agency on your channel and some good time for some chit chat. It'll be good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Love what I do. Love who I partner with. It's so much fun in this industry. It's a great industry. Telesales is phenomenal. I've done telesales for over 2+ decades, done insurance and ran call centers prior to ever entering the insurance market. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's a passion of mine, but I've done some face-to-face as well. So it's a kick in the britches. It's fun if you do it right. And it's going to be a grind if you don't have things in order. So it'll be fun. So,
yeah. So let's talk about that because there is a difference between the face-to-face strategy versus the telesale strategy. So please describe for the neophyte person that maybe they've done face-to-face and are looking at telesales, or the brand new person that doesn't know the difference. Give those people a good idea of what both are like and how they're the same and how they're different.
Well, you're serving the same demographic, but there is a clear and concise difference in how you articulate your conversation to that consumer. Night and day. Okay. Any place, any agency that doesn't understand this, be careful. And that's why you'll see on my channel and I'm at jasonfinalexpense.com. I always say, vet your trainer, vet your trainer, vet your trainer. I've run national call centers, true brick and mortars, 70+ butts in the seats, 3 rotating shifts, twin predictive dialers, whisper technology, all that fun stuff. I did that for 3 years prior to entering into the insurance market. And there's a complete difference than how you sell face-to-face. So if you're being trained by someone that their roots are in face-to-face insurance, run. Okay. If that's where the roots are, don't even play. If they're telling you Zoom for telesales or they hand you some 18-page script, run for the dang hills because you're going to get hurt. Face-to-face insurance sales is different. You can utilize body posturing. You can utilize the gift of silence, as you know, because, Dave, you've done a ton of face-to-face insurance in your career and you understand it very clearly. When you're in that home, silence is deadly in an amazing good way, not like in a disparaging or bad way, but silence is a force multiplier in the face-to-face space. But in telesales, it'll kill you. Silence is like the carbon monoxide, okay, of the call. And a lot of face-to-face agents will play the same game, jumping on the phones, thinking they got it going on, and they get hurt. So there's a complete difference in how you articulate everything to the consumer, some things that you're going to use to your disposal to help the client. It's all about helping the client, but you've got to have things in order. You've got to have them done right. You cannot lean on what you knew past tense about the face-to-face play because there's a clear and concise difference in how you do telesales, and it's a art form. It is an art form. You've got to know how to use the art. You just start painting that client with that same brush, it's going to put you in a corner and you're going to get boxed out of this industry hard. So yes, face-to-face is awesome. A telesales agent can, oh my goodness, they can do phenomenal things in the face-to-face world because we can capitalize on skill set like no other because we're using different giftings, different tools in the trade to translate the business even more powerfully. It's like a force multiplier in the face-to-face arena, but it does not reverse engineer. You cannot go face-to-face and just take those tactics and expect to be a rock star in the telespace. It'll take you out quick. You'll waste money on this.
So what you're saying is, if I understand this, I agree with you. If you get good at the phone, you're really good at selling on the phone, probably pretty good in person. But if you start face-to-face, it doesn't translate the other way around. Is that more or less what you're saying?
Not at all. Absolutely right. It doesn't translate. You're a face-to-face guy, and then you get into telesales. You're like, you know what? I got to start face-to-face first, and then I'm going to try to find my way into telesales. I train brand new agents, and I train 30-year veteran agents in my agency. I treat them all the same. We work insanely, intentionally on telesales. We spend 5 separate days training, skilling, building, not like go here's a script, see you later, bud. I intentionally will train like no other, and a brand new agent can jump into telesales and just dominate the phones. But an agent that just got a script, they were a face-to-face agent, they find themselves wasting money on leads. They try to lean on Zoom sometimes, or they get caught up with a study buddy that doesn't know what the heck they're doing, and they get hurt. It's ugly. So telesales is so important that you train to the next level, that you're mentored to the next level, so you can really like sing the right tune when you're on that phone. It's not just necessarily, as easy as you may think. It's a simple business, but it's not easy. You got to know what you're doing. That's why if you jump into telesales, make sure you've got a good, mentor that's truly done it themselves for a long time and has a track record of success in this space, because it will hurt you, everybody. That's why I always say bet your trainer. Crazy important. A lot of people get hurt.
Zoom, final expense. What could go wrong?
Yikes. Give me one more crutch to fall on. I mean, Zoom, are you kidding me? There's no room for Zoom. If you know telesales, you don't need Zoom. There is no room for Zoom in telesales. That is face-to-face technique from these agencies that are trying to figure out what telesales is, right? And it's like when you're grounded in face-to-face technique, they can't translate the business into telesales because they've never done it. So now they try to change their tune, but they don't know how to change their tune for telesales. So they go to Zoom and then they get harmed. It's as simple as that. Zoom is face-to-face sales over a media platform.
But
that's it.
Again, just playing devil's advocate here, of course. I understand this. But why can't Mildred, 70 years old, pull up her smartphone or a computer and do Zoom? What's wrong with that?
Well, this is kind of what you hear from your clients. Okay. Anybody ever written a Moo app? Okay. I'll just call it Moo. Okay. Let me tell you, it's right. It's like horrible. I travel across the nation doing telemastery seminars. And let me tell you, what'll all take place. I say the same consistent message. Don't use certain things for certain clients. You're going to have trouble. And it's like to tell a client, oh, you need to get on your email and look at me to trust me. You've already got problems with the transaction before you've ever board. And what you're going to have is, I can't figure out how to do this. And all you're going to hear is Mildred going beep, beep, beep. We're on YouTube. Okay, don't want to get in trouble. But I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Like swear words, and grandma's going to cuss, and the money goes in the swear jar, and then ta-da, here we are.
I think, Jason, I think of that old granny meme, where granny's looking at the computer and she's like, huh? Like that's every client that we see that try to get to do anything over the phone. So, and like you said, true, if you don't need that, right? I mean, if you've got good training and good development, why do you even need Zoom? Not to mention the problems it causes just even getting them onto that point. You don't need it.
Technology can be trouble, for an insurance agent when they first start out in telesales. It can be trouble, It's in my agency, my success ratio is like no other. 75% of my graduating classes that go through my telemastery program, 75% of them all write business their very first day on the phones when they buy leads. That's insanely different than most agencies that say, here's a free script. Here you go. Hope you make it, buddy. Go study.
Why does that matter? Why does it matter that they get success so quickly?
Success breeds success. It is important that you don't let gravity strike. You got to know what you're doing and you've got to take actionable steps. I speak about this on my channel all the time. You've got to do something. If you know something and fail to act, that's your own problem, right? So it's like a lot of insurance agents, they want the wealth, but they don't want to do the work. Work is necessary, right? Pain is necessary to progress in your career. So once you're trained, and we train like 5 days in my telemastery program, it's insane. It's not for the weak of heart, but the wealth that is accumulated by these agents and the success ratios are not like what takes place in most insurance agencies that dabble in telesales or tell you about Zoom or don't give a lot of time and attention to their agent force. A lot of big agencies do not give the time that I put into mentoring every one of these agents. And if you really want to make it in telesales, it's very important that you have a good mentor, that you're a sponge, and that you stick to the fundamentals. You don't want to have your bandwidth all over the planet. Okay. It's like putting trash in your head. And if you've got some script out there that's some free Frankenstein script, run for the dang hills. You're just going to get you hurt. You got to have proprietary property, intellectual property, if you want to really accelerate in your career, because mentorship matters. Most agents waste thousands and thousands of dollars on leads. They partner wrong, or they get trained up with a platform that's Zoom based, and yikes, it's bad. It's ugly. It's like you're basically putting all these obstacles in front of you that are harming the agent force, because 92% of the agent force will fail in the insurance industry, but it's because they're getting MLM'd, as you know, they're getting rah recruited. They're not getting true mentorship. They're not getting true turnkey systems. And then they find themselves, man, I went down the wrong road. Why did I do this to myself? And it hurts a lot of agents. A lot of the failure rate is because they lack mentorship, true training, true intellectual property. They never vetted their trainer. They never vetted the agency. They just didn't. And it hurts a lot of good people that could progress in their careers. And it's part of the industry, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's so important to be humble and realize that the odds are against you in this business getting started, and any good person in this business will tell you, you got to have all of the odds in your favor. If you're going to play this game, you can't just go out there and wing the thing. Like Jason's saying, you need expert training and support and a turnkey system to make it work. It's 100% true. So let's talk about one aspect of that. We kind of mentioned it with the Moo carrier.
Right.
What are the aspects of the best telesales carriers that are out there? What are you looking for as a trainer and as an agency owner of which carriers to work with to make your agent's life the easiest when it comes to writing business and helping our clients?
I handpick every carrier. Okay. So every carrier in my agency is handpicked by me, and it's vetted by me. I have sold these carriers myself, with the exception of one. There's one carrier I haven't, and that's because it's not available in my state. Okay. I know how to write it, people, but I don't have it in my state. So I can't ethically tell you I wrote it. I'm not going to fluff your feathers. Okay. There's one carrier I haven't written in my agency, but we all use carriers, and I always advise, okay, to use these carriers. Take my advice, do what you want with it. And when you get whooped, you're going to come back whining. Okay. Say, why did I do that to myself? And I go, I told you so. Right. Okay. You got to use voice-based carriers. Don't use these, Moo type carriers. You know what I'm talking about? You're using these carriers that are heavy, like you're lost in a forest, wink, wink. Okay. And you're using email-based carriers. Okay. If y'all get where I'm coming from here, you don't use these types of carriers in the telespace. Face-to-face, fine. It's beautiful. You can be a finessed, financially free agent using these types of carriers, because I've got, face-to-face agents in my agency as well, but the majority of my agent force is telesales. That's my background. That's my bones. Okay. That's what I do, and I love it. But you don't want to be using the same mix of carriers that you found yourself familiarized with as a face-to-face agent. It'll harm you. That's just my 2 cents on that.
So, Horace, let's transition now to talk a little bit about leads. Always the best subject, most fun subject to talk about. I've interviewed a couple of vendors that teach or sell courses that teach you how to self-generate leads. Of course, most agents, what do? They buy leads, but there's growing interest in the other. What's your perspective on buying leads, just letting somebody else generate them and you buy them at a fixed price, versus doing it yourself?
In my experience, done it a long time, I don't self-generate leads. I don't. Okay. For me, it's a tremendous, time suck for me, because my ROI on leads, if I drop a G, I'm going to make 10. If I'm dropping $600-700, I'm going to make around $6 to $8 grand in okay, AP and commission. So it's a time drain. The use of my time is the most important thing to me. So am I doing an income producing activity or an income reducing activity by saving $2 on a lead, saving $5 on a lead, which is good for the right person. It really is. I've got a lot of men and women in my agency at jasonfinalexpense.com that will actually absolutely self-generate leads. I'm a proponent of that for the right person, but it can be its own demon as much as it can be its own deliverance to you as an agent that has problems paying for leads, right? So it can be a blessing and a curse depending on how you capitalize on this platform. So if you're deciding to go to I'm going to self-generate leads, amazing. Okay, great partner in business I can hook you up with. But let me tell you, everything works, everybody watching this, until it doesn't work, right? Everything's fine until it ain't fine. And if you've only got one leg on your stool, you're flat on your britches. You just are. So self-generate leads, I'm a big proponent of it for the right person, but understand it, looking at it through the right lenses of everything's fine until it puts me on my fanny, and then don't be upset because you're on your britches because your ad spend went from $4 a lead to now $22 a lead or more. And then you start having these hurdles that you've got to overcome. So it takes your bandwidth from being in a position where you can absolutely capitalize on doing the most important thing, which is conversations and selling and closing business, taking care of the needs with your products, as opposed to I'm now a professional marketer. I'm doing this all day and now I'm frustrated and half my day got spent calling Facebook and calling this and all this stuff. So there's tremendous pros to it, but a lot of people don't want to tell you about the cons.
You think agents should plan on, new agents getting into the business should more often plan on just buying leads before worrying about self-generating, just to give them the chance to focus on the like your telemastery and the training that it takes to be successful selling over the phone?
It doesn't matter if you have the craziest, most amazing lead if you're not leveraged in the right place to capitalize on that. I've seen a ton of agents in my life. I've trained hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents successfully. Okay. Before doing insurance, I've trained countless hundreds to sell non-insurance related products by phone, cold calling to someone that didn't send a lead in. So when we are, as insurance agents, get a lead, that's fish in a barrel, everyone. It's fish in a barrel compared to where I came from in this industry in telesales. So when you're thinking about self-generating leads and you're buying your own, absolutely buy leads. But a lot of agents get harmed if they don't go to the depths of training that they need to win the fight. And I'm not saying that telesales is a fight. It's not. When you're properly trained, it's amazing, but it's very fluid. It's pro-client. It's easy. You're serving them and guarding them. That's what the insurance industry is about, in my opinion, serving our great clients. But you've got to be skilled up. If not, you lose control. When you lose control, things get stupid. This is where consumer complaints come from. Agents lose their temper. You get pissed off. You buy a lead. You get a high intent lead, but you waste thousands. I've had agents come to me from outside agencies and other agencies that have lost $10,000, $15,000 on leads and never made a profit. I put them through a week-long mastery program, or they fly across the nation to one of my seminars, and we go all darn day. It's not an easy thing. Okay. It's like drinking from a fire hose. We work through lunches. Let's go. We're here to learn. Okay. But if you want to be wealthy, you got to do the work and go through those motions. But those agents now can take the same lead that they were losing money on. Now they're leveraged properly. And with leverage, it makes everything easier. It's not an easy business. It's a simple business, but it makes it easier when you know what to do, you know what to say, when you've got the turnkey systems. And that's why I always say to, some agents, I'm like, if you know what I know, you do what I do. It's a blessing. It's fun. And the agent force, even as a brand new agent, can take an age lead and dominate with it. I've got some brand new agents that they're amazing. They've never done insurance a day in their life, barely passed their test. They buy aged leads at first, okay, really good ones, and they're crushing it. Multiple sales in their first week. And this isn't brand new leads. So right. A brand new agent can have just as much success as a veteran if they know what they're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter. You're just going to lose money. You're going to hemorrhage financially trying to figure it out. It costs you more than you ever realized if you're not trained. You didn't vet your mentor. You got to vet your mentor. It's so important. How long you been doing telesales? How many sales have you personally done? How long you been doing telesales itself yourself? You got to ask these questions. Like, it's so important, because some of these places will be like, oh yeah, we do telesales, and then it's Zoom. Oh yeah, we do telesales, but oh yeah, go book appointments and go face to face. You're like, I thought you said you did telesales. Like, what? And that happened.
We use the phone to book an appointment.
No, you
Not quite telesales.
Meeting. You have to set appointments, right? I mean, you have to set appointments for telesales, right? Wink, wink.
Yeah, right, exactly. So on the lead side, let's talk about this. There's really two types of leads. There are the aged and fresh leads, of course, as you mentioned.
Right.
But there's also outbound leads where you call out to your prospects. You generated them somehow prior to that. Or there are inbound leads. These are sometimes TV leads, live transfers, so on and so forth. You wait for the call and the call comes in. What's best for the agents, Jason? What do you think?
Well, it all depends on the agent's character and will. Okay. What I'm talking about with will is, do you have a work ethic where you can do outbound and be disciplined? Or are you one of those agents that needs to be told what to do? If you're an agent that needs to be micromanaged and you know that you're just not disciplined enough to dial outbound, then guess what? Inbounds are for you. I'm not going to disparage you, but I'm going to tell you you're a little bit lazy. It's okay. We'll have that conversation. So an inbound agent is an agent that lacks the work ethic to necessarily knuckle down and get on their leads. Okay. So an inbound lead is great, but an inbound lead is not a sale. An inbound lead is an opportunity to have a conversation, to bring value to your consumer. That's it. Oh, guess what? An outbound lead, everyone, is an opportunity to have a conversation, to bring value to your consumer. Once you find how you can bring value to them, they have a problem, you meet it with your product. If you do a good work, shake hands, go help them. Oh, by the way, that results in a sale if you do it right. Okay. But an inbound lead, really, really expensive. It does not have a quantitative effect to mean more sales. It doesn't. It just means you've got guaranteed conversations of, let's say, 10, 15, 20 inbound conversations. It's not a sale. And a lot of people take the bait. One of my agents just this week, we had a great conversation on this. She got some inbound leads, did great. Okay, phenomenal. And then outbound was equally as good. And she's like, you know what, Jason? She's like, you were right. She's like, I did both. And she's like, the buyer intent's the same. And I'd rather wag the dog on the front side and make it all happen. It's better. It's just a better platform. And when I ran call centers professionally, okay, I did inbound work and a ton of outbound. Boy, let me tell you, okay, it's just a conversation. It's how you're trained, how you're mentored, how you're coached that will help you capitalize on any lead. I've got agents that have done inbound leads with a 58% closing ratio on inbound leads. And that's not normal, everyone. That is not, okay. I had one agent, that got a ratio. Everybody else was right around the 30s, okay, mid 30s, high 30s. That's industry average. So if anyone's telling you, oh, everybody's getting 50% kill ratio, close ratio, whatever they want to say, they're lying to your face. That's my 2 cents. Soapbox.
That's all right. Okay, scripting. Let's talk a little bit about scripting. So in my experience out there with the different scripts, there tends to fall into one or two camps. There's a lengthier script, kind of like the 18-pager you were mentioning. It's all touchy-feely, lots of stories, lots of just make them your best friend. You're on the phone a long time, right? And then there's the shorter ones that maybe they lack a lot of that and they're kind of right to the point, maybe a straight line kind of script, if you will. What's your thoughts? What script is better than another for the average agent coming into the business?
Most scripts in the free market are Frankensteins. They really are. 18-page scripts, I call that, it's a wear down script. I'm going to wear you down with words until you finally heel over and buy something from me. It's not because you're skilled and gifted. You wore the client down. That's what those types of scripts traditionally are. Other scripts that kind of go for the throat scripts, okay, as I call them, they're super aggressive. I don't play that way. Okay. That's why it's so important to have proprietary intellectual property and content if you're doing telesales. Most of the stuff you see, look at it. Okay. 18 pages of face-to-face stuff and they call it a telesales script. It's like the same thing. You got to be careful. Longer, shorter, it doesn't matter. You've got to translate that call into the right music that your consumer wants to hear. So it's not this like, oh, you like shag carpet, David? Oh, lottie dottie, I love shag carpet too, buddy. Awesome. Oh, you like wood in your office? Wow, so do I. We're best buddies. You like books? Man, me too. You're not going to buy from me because I go there, right? It's like, come on. If I don't really know you, it's just fluff and stuff. It's empty calorie, right? You got to bring the steak and potatoes if you want to really put the client in the best position to have that conversation with you.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I am out of questions here. I think we covered a lot of ground here. We talked about leads. We talked about scripting, the nature of telesales versus face-to-face. I think hopefully the goal of this was accomplished to give those of you out there who are new to this business real perspective from somebody who's a pro in the business and what final expense telesales is like. So, Jason, thanks for being here. Tell us where my audience can go to learn more about your program, your channel, your website.
Sure. Well, thank you. And for having me on. And anyone that needs help, they can always reach out at, jasonfinalexpense.com. They can check my YouTube content out. I do seminars across the nation for contracted agents as well as non-contracted agents. And I do a lot of coaching and a lot of help. But in our agency, my goodness, what I do together with some of the most amazing men and women on the planet is we do some good work in the telespace. It's like no other. Like, there's not many platforms for an agent to run on that will invest as much time into the mentoring and training and helping agents understand their true gifts in this space so that they can get what they want out of their career. Because agents, they want to be explosive. They want to make it. And they want to be able to, be in a good place where they make some money. And a lot of agents get, as we know, harmed. They just don't partner wrong. They don't ask the right questions. And then they get sucked into, the rah-rah of the industry and then don't get the real results. And it's just sad. It drives me crazy when some agents have got harmed. So if agents need help, they can always reach out. I'll serve them in any way I can. On average, in my agency, I'll partner with 1 out of 30 people. So I'm not like most agencies out there that if you've got a pulse, we've got a place. We don't work that way. We have a good work family. It's important.
Can you fog this mirror?
Right?
All right. So Jason, Final Expense, put that into YouTube. You'll find his channel, all his excellent content. Make sure you subscribe. Jason, Final Expense, the website. I'll make sure to put it in as well as the channel in the description below, guys. So check it out there. If you can't quite reach the search bar, put it in. So, Jason, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Keep doing the good work, everybody. Be successful.
Thank you. See you.